Decomposition involves fragmentation, leaching, catabolism, humification, and mineralization. What is the food chain? It is nothing but the transfer of energy from one trophic level to the other trophic level. Mineralization is the final step of the process called decomposition. Detritus is nothing but the dead organic matter, that is the dead matter of the plants and animals is called detritus or dirt. Hello everyone, welcome back to session 2 of this interesting chapter called Ecosystem. Myself, B. Shobharani from the Department of Biology, Vidyashram Pre-University College, the Temple of Excellence. What did we study in the last session? We studied about a very important process called decomposition. And the steps that are involved in the process of decomposition involves fragmentation, leaching, catabolism, humification, and mineralization. So moving on to the remaining concepts or the steps of decomposition, that is humification and mineralization. So what is humification and what is mineralization, which are the two very important steps in the process of decomposition? As we know, decomposition is a very important biological process that has to take place to maintain an ecological balance in an ecosystem. So what is humification? It is nothing but the accumulation of the dark colored amorphous substance called humus. So what is humus? I think you might have come across a word called fertile soil. A fertile soil is one which is having more humus. So what is humus? What is humification? The process of formation of humus is called humification, which is nothing but it is the accumulation of dark colored amorphous substance called humus. What is humus actually? As I said, it is a fertile soil which is going to enrich the soil fertility and enhance the growth of crops. Here, it is colloidal and resistant to microbial action, leads to slow decomposition, acts as nutrient reservoir. So, it is a nutrient reservoir. So, it is a colloidal and resistant to microbial action. So, the humus will not be destroyed further and it leads to slow decomposition and acts as nutrient reservoir. So, that is the process of humification. Then what is mineralization? Mineralization is the final step of the process called decomposition. So it is the final stage of decomposition in which the humus is further, that is microbes release the inorganic nutrients into the soil. So what is mineralization? It is the final stage of decomposition in which the microbes release the inorganic nutrients from the humus into the soil. So these two are the very, very important steps in the process of decomposition. I repeat, what is humification? It is the accumulation of dark colored amorphous substance called humus. It is a colloidal and resistant to microbial action, leads to slow decomposition, acts as nutrient reservoir. What is mineralization? It is the final stage of decomposition where the nutrients are released into the soil and thereby enriching the soil fertility. What are the factors that affect decomposition? A very, very important factor is decomposition is a process which is more dependent on oxygen. So it requires more of oxygen for the process. So oxygen is a prime requirement for the process of decomposition. So the process of decomposition will be very much more in presence of oxygen. So in absence of oxygen, the process of decomposition decreases. And second very important is the chemical composition of detritus. Detritus rich in chitin and lignin will have slow process of decomposition. So the process of decomposition will be very slow when the detritus is rich in chitin and lignin. So the process of decomposition is slower if the detritus contains substances like chitin and lignin. But if the detritus is rich in nitrogen and sugar, then the rate of decomposition will be very fast. So as I said, it is a very, very important chemical component for the process of decomposition. And climate factors, for example, temperature and soil moisture is also very, very important. So warm and moist temperature is very much required, or it favors the process of decomposition, and low temperature and dryness is going to decrease the process of decomposition. So what are the factors? This is a very important point from examination point of view. So they will ask in exam, what are the factors that affect the rate of decomposition? First and foremost factor is oxygen. As I said, the process of decomposition is very much dependent on oxygen. More the oxygen, more will be the rate of decomposition. So that means the decomposition is a process which requires oxygen. Second one is chemical composition. Detritus rich in chitin and lignin will have slow process of decomposition, whereas the detritus rich in nitrogen and sugars will have a higher rate of decomposition. And climate factors, particularly for example like temperature and soil moisture, is a very, very important factors that regulate decomposition, that regulate or control decomposition, that regulate decomposition, that regulate decomposition. Now, as we know that energy flow in an ecosystem is the transmission of energy from sun to green plants. So as we know, what is the main source of energy? Sun is the main source of energy. So the solar energy is trapped by the green plants, and the green plants utilize the sunlight energy with the help of the other raw materials like chlorophyll, water and sunlight, and prepare the food called the starch. Now, solar energy flow. Here you can see the beautiful picture of the sun. Sun is the main source of energy. Imagine if sun doesn't rise, imagine how we all would have led a life. So it's very difficult to lead. It is not imaginable without sun. Sun is a very, very important source of energy for all of us. So sun is the only source of energy for all the ecosystem on the earth. Yes, of course, we all do agree to this statement. Yes, of course. So sun is the only source of energy for all ecosystem on the earth. So of the incident solar radiation, this is of incident solar radiation, less than 50% of it is photosynthetically active radiation. It is called PAR. So less than 50% of incident solar energy, incident solar radiation is called PAR, that is photosynthetically active radiation. And plants and photosynthetic and chemosynthetic bacteria fix sun's radiant energy to make food from simple organic materials. So we all know that plants, by utilizing the raw materials, will prepare the food. They use the inorganic components or materials to make organic compound, that is starch. Next, plants capture how much of PAR? So in that, it is going to capture only 2 to 10% of the PR, and this small amount of energy sustains the entire living world. So imagine with this 2 to 10% of PAR, the plants can capture only how much? Only 2 to 10% of the PR, and this small amount of solar energy is going to sustain the entire living world. So I repeat, solar energy, as I said, sun is the only source of energy for all ecosystems on earth. Of the incident solar radiation, less than 50% of it is photosynthetically active radiation, PAR. So this is a very important abbreviation which is asked in exam. Expand PAR. What is PAR? Photosynthetically active radiation. And plants and photosynthetic and chemosynthetic bacteria, like for example, we have autotrophs, fix sun's radiant energy to make food from simple organic matter. And plants capture how much? Only 2 to 10% of the PR, and this small amount of energy sustains the entire living world. Moving across a very, very important concept called food chain. Food chain is a very, very important component of an ecosystem. Here you can see the beautiful picture of the food chain. This is the food chain. So here you can see producer, with the help of, see, the grasshopper is eaten by the frog, and frog is eaten by the snake is eaten by the eagle. And this decomposes, and again it goes back to the cycle. So this is what we call it as the food chain. What is the food chain actually? It is nothing but the transfer of energy from one trophic level to the other trophic level, being eaten up in the process. So it is the transfer of energy in the form of food producers to it is a transfer of energy in the form of food from producers to consumers by eating and being eaten. I repeat, it is a transfer of energy in the form of food, that is from producers to consumers by eating and by being eaten process. So there are two types of food chains. One is called the grazing food chain, that is GFC, and the other one is called the detritus food chain. So what is food chain in simple term? It is a transfer of energy from one trophic level to the other trophic level. So what are the four trophic levels? 1, 2, 3 and 4. So producers form the first trophic level. Then next comes the consumers, that is the primary consumer, secondary consumer, and the tertiary consumer. So what is food chain? The transfer of food or energy from producers to consumers. So all these are called as what? Consumers. So from producers to consumers, we call it as the food chain. So what are the types of food chain? We have two types. One is called the grazing food chain and the other one is called the detritus food chain. Now let us understand what is this grazing food chain and detritus food chain. Here let us compare the grazing food chain with the detritus food chain. So what are the two types of food chains? One is called the grazing food chain. The other one is called the detritus food chain. Now let us differentiate the process. So here it is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. 5 differences. Here, sun is the source of energy. In grazing food chain, sun is the source of energy. In detritus food chain, detritus is the source of energy. So in case of grazing food chain, this is grazing food chain and this is detritus food chain. So here sun is the source of energy. Here detritus is the source of energy. Producer starts the food chain here. Who is going to start the food chain in grazing food chain? It is the producers, maybe the plants, that is the plants. Here detrivores and decomposers start the food chain. Here detrivores and what are detrivores? Dirt eaters, or what we otherwise use the word called decomposers. It might be saprophytic bacteria, it might be fungi. So they are called as they are the one who is going to start the food chain. Here, it provides detritus to the detritus food chain. From where does the detritus come? That is, detritus is nothing but the dead organic matter. That is, the dead matter of the plants and animals is called detritus or dirt, right? So it provides detritus to detritus food chain. It provides nutrients to the grazing food chain. As we know, when the dead body of the dead plants and animals are decomposed, some of the nutrients are recycled back to the soil, and that nutrients is utilized by the producers, namely by the plants. So here it provides detritus to the detritus food chain. And what is detritus food chain going to provide? Provide nutrients to the grazing food chain. See what a wonderful link it is having. That is a link between the grazing food chain and the detritus food chain. Next, low energy circulate. Where in grazing food chain, low energy circulate. Here, high energy flows. Right. Next, example, we can take the example of grass eaten by the goat, goat eaten by the man. So producers form the first. Next, the goat forms the primary consumer and man is the secondary consumer. Here, example, dead leaves. Dead leaves are fed on earthworms and by microbes, that is the detritus. So here earthworms and microbes form the decomposers. So this is about the difference between the grazing and the detritus food chain. TUS, detritus food chain. So now let us see once again what is the difference between the grazing food chain and the detritus food chain. So sun is the source of energy. Their detritus is the source of energy. Here producer starts food chain. Their detrivores and decomposers start food chain. Here it provides detritus for detritus food chain. Here it provides nutrients for grazing food chain. Here low energy circulate, their high energy circulate. Here you can give an example of grass, goat and man. Grass is the producer, goat is the primary consumer and man is the secondary consumer. Here dead leaves and plant, that is dead leaves and animals also we can say, and they are fed by the earthworms and the microbes. Moving on to the biotic components and their role in an ecosystem. What is biotic The living components of an ecosystem constitutes the biotic components. So there are three very important components. One is called, as we know, producers, next the consumers, next the decomposers. Already we have gone through this, right? So what are the three very important components of producers? Producers usually will be the plants. Consumers, like it might be the animals which are going to consume the producers. Decomposers are the one which is going to decompose the dead plants and the animals. So now let us understand what are the producers. So producers, as I said, they are nothing but the plants, which are nothing but the autotrophs, which synthesize food by photosynthesis and eaten by the primary consumers or herbivores. We classify the animals into herbivores, carnivores and omnivores. So herbivores are the animals which feed only on plants. Carnivores are the animals which feed only on the flesh of animals. Omnivores, both plant eaters as well as flesh eaters. So what are the three very important components of the ecosystem? One is the producer, consumer and decomposer. So what are producers? These are the autotrophs which synthesize food by photosynthesis and eaten by the primary consumers, namely the herbivores. Now, who are called as consumers? Organisms which depend on other organisms for their food is called as consumers. Who feed, for example, like goat. Goat is a consumer which is going to feed on the producer, right? So consumer, as I said, what is a consumer? Organisms which depend on other organisms for their food. Based on the source, they are grouped into primary, secondary and tertiary consumers. So what are consumers? Organisms which depend on the other organisms for their food. So based on the source, they are grouped into primary consumer, secondary consumer and tertiary consumer. As I said, what are the four levels? Trophic level 1, trophic level 1, trophic level 2, trophic level 3, trophic level 4. Producers, primary consumers, secondary consumers and tertiary consumers. So 4 levels. So here primary consumers, secondary consumers and the tertiary consumers. So what are primary consumers? As I said, primary consumer like goat is a primary, it is a herbivore. So primary consumers are usually what? Herbivores, feed on producers, that is the plants or the autotrophs. Who are secondary consumers? Secondary consumers are primary carnivores, feed on the herbivores. Man is called as a secondary consumer who feeds on goat. So secondary consumer are primary consumer. Or like for example, we can take a producer as the plants, then grasshopper as the secondary consumer, or frog as grasshopper as a secondary consumer, then primary consumer, then frog as secondary consumer and snake as a tertiary consumer. So tertiary consumers are secondary consumers, feed on the secondary consumers. So what are they? Tertiary consumers are secondary consumers which feed on the secondary consumers. So for example here, producers feed on primary consumers feed on producers, and the primary consumers are fed by the secondary consumers, and the secondary consumers are fed by the tertiary consumers. So producers are fed by the primary consumers, and the primary consumers are fed by the secondary consumers, and the secondary consumers are fed by the tertiary consumers. So that is all about the consumers. So we'll move on to the next, that is the decomposers. So already we have come across what is the role played by the decomposers, what role they have to play in the process of decomposition in an ecosystem. And as I said, imagine if decomposers were not there, I think the whole world would have been filled with dirt and filth, but that is not made possible, and the environment is kept clean by the decomposers. They have a great role to play, and that is the reason they are also called as what? Natural scavengers, which clean the environment. These are the microbes which break complex organic into simple or inorganic material. For example, like we have bacteria and fungi. Saprophytic bacteria. Imagine saprophytic bacteria, if it was not there, I think the process of decomposition would not have happened. So bacteria are both useful and harmful to human mankind. As we have already studied, what role the bacteria have a role to play in the welfare of human mankind. So that is all about decomposers. So in the coming session, I'll be dealing with a very important concept, as I've already explained, about the trophic levels. That is the 4 trophic levels, namely the producers form the first trophic level, primary consumers form the second trophic level, secondary consumers form the third trophic level, and the tertiary consumers form the 4th trophic level with examples. So I'll be back in the coming session with some more interesting concepts of this chapter. Till then, goodbye and thank you.